Hello, my name is Kari Matthews, and I'll be representing a thesis originally submitted by Master Brook in 2010. We'll begin with some background on the factors impacting this study, forage species and their interactions with above and below ground, as well as the soil type and health. It's also the style of intercropping, which to the right is just an example of row intercropping of grass and legumes. The species in her study included legumes, grasses, and the weed Canada thistle. Just wanted to highlight the above and below ground characteristics of a young white clover plant for reference. Canada thistle is an aggressive weed and it regularly hinders crop yields within the area. So the study wanted to study the impact on soil health, crop yields, and overcrowding resistance to the weed by the legume and grasses at different ratios. The study was conducted at the University of Canada, the Alberta Parkland region, and it was conducted within pots in a greenhouse to simulate different ratios more precisely. So the objective was to optimize the planting density to also optimize revenue uh, at different densities. Some of the other objectives were determine the competitive and facultative trade-offs between a noxious weed and the legume grass mixtures while running the greenhouse. They also wanted to document early sward changes in composition following establishment at various seeding rates to identify agronomic and legume grass mixture benefits for yield and quality at the greenhouse. So again, for the materials and methods, the study was conducted at a greenhouse, and the plants were harvested 90 days after planting with a day-night cycle of 16 to 8 and a temperature of 32 degrees Celsius. They were also given a slow-release fertilizer at the beginning of the study with 13-13-13 at 2.5 kilograms per cubic meter of potassium, phosphorus, and nitrogen. I wanted to highlight some of the possibilities of different ratios and densities on both above and below ground biomass production. Some of the statistical analysis performed was a Shapiro-Wilks test to check for normality of plot residual values. There was a bit of discrepancy in the performance of harvesting and sample preparation, so the data was chopped and interpreted in a few different ways in order to correct for that. But overall, the higher concentration of white clover, even with Canada thistle, but also with Kentucky bluegrass, had the highest shoot biomass production. Um, and as we stated earlier, even though uh, grasses, because they are more simple, establish more quickly and possibly securely if there is too much issue from crowding, as we see at the concentration of one white clover to two Canada thistle, providing a low count of white clover shoot biomass. So the swords with higher ratio of grasses establish more securely and quickly, as we said. And I just wanted to highlight how, again, some sampling would have occurred inside of a pasture using a quadrat. The results were that the impact of neighboring treatments within a planting density were quite pronounced also, as well as the differences in growing and the speed at which they grew, how quickly this is established also. And Kentucky bluegrass root biomass was measured with the highest biomass being produced at low density, of course, because they would be able to spread more thoroughly throughout. And the grasses were able to outcompete Canada thistle, which is good for establishment and for production on the farm. Thank you for your time.